Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Now, today I'm going to talk about is planning. For principle of management, we are going to talk about how planning is important for an organization or an institution, and why it is, always taken in first consideration before doing any other work. Okay. So first we will cover is what is planning, types of planning, advantages or limitations of planning or disadvantages of planning. All right. So what is planning? Planning is one of the management's function. Beside organizing, controlling, and leading, uh, it enables the organization to function effectively. Uh, Good planning is a very crucial thing to be implemented in an institution or an organization. Now, according to C.W. Roney in 2000, he said that planning is done for two purposes. Number one, it is done as a protection to the organization. That means the planning is done and the manager can predict or forecast the effect of the steps that you're going to take, the suggestions that you are taking in consideration, the alternative actions that you are going to carry out during the entire process of your working. Okay, in this situation, the manager will choose the alternative action that provides the best result to the organization and protects it from any decision that is not profitable for the institution. All right. Now, the second thing why planning is important is that planning is done to increase the affirmity level of in an organization or an institution. Like how when you have a plan, what you have to do, what you have to achieve, what will you do? You will be sure that which direction you have to go, which things that you are have to take in consideration. Your priorities will be what you call chronologically arranged if you have a proper planning. Okay, so it asserts the affirmity level in an organization. For example, when an organization opens a new branch, it is not a coincidence, but it is a result of detailed study and planning. Okay, with proper planning, managers will be able to ensure that what is needed to be done, how it should be carried out, the actions, the why it has to be done, why you need those actions to be taken up, and when to do it, where to do it, and how should you implement it. Okay, now without a good planning, or organization will not be able to expand. Okay, so without a good planning, your organization or institution or whatever, even if you are opening up your own entrepreneurship, like, you will not be able to achieve what you aim for. So you need to have a proper in detail planning. In detail planning will require what? In detail planning will require in detail knowledge, in detailed management system, what action has to be taken, what are the alternative options, what are the best option that you can adopt. All right. Now, by the definition, now let's follow the definition of the planning. The following is the section in which is defining the planning. The planning means determining the objective that are desired to be achieved and deciding on action that are needed to be taken in order to achieve the objectives. Who has said that? Lewis and his co-authors have said that planning means determining the objective that are desired to be achieved and deciding on the action that are needed to be taken in order to achieve the objectives. Now, planning is a proposal of action that needs to be made by an organization to achieve its objective. Who has said this? In 2000, Sarto has said that planning is a proposal of action that needs to be made by an organization to achieve a objective. Okay, now planning again, there's another definition. The planning is a process of determining the objective that is desired to achieve in future, including the action that needs to be taken in order to achieve them. Who has said this? Drew and Braze in 2000 has said that you have to is a process which determines the objective and desire to achieve those in future, and action taken in consideration. So what are the pathways you are following, that is in consideration. Okay, so you can pick up any of the definition whenever, if I in any questions, if I ask to define planning, so you will start with what your understanding of planning is in your introduction, and then you will start defining what various authors have tried to explain what planning is in an organization. All right. Now this is another thing. Planning is deciding in advance what is to be done, when, where, how, and by whom it has to be done. Okay, now planning is a bridge, or it's between the gap from where we are and we want to go to, like it is the bridge between the two areas. Like if I want to achieve something, how will I go? That entire process is called planning. Achieving your goal is the process that is planning. It includes selection of the objective. You have to first of all identify the objectives, then policies, procedures, means entire pathway, and the program from among the alternatives. Now, how to plan effectively? How do we have an effective planning implemented or be drafted? Okay, the effective planning involves five main processes. What are the five main processes? It is determining the objectives that needs to be achieved. First you have to determine the objective that you have to achieve. Okay, then builds the individual commitment that towards achieving the objective. So you have to build a commitment that you have to achieve this goal, you have to reach this goal. So what is the first thing? The first thing is determining the objective that needs to be achieved. The second thing is building individual commitments towards achieving the objectives. Okay, then forming action plans. So how you are going to do, what are the first thing that you have to take in consideration, the priority setting. Okay, so forming a action plan like suppose you want to go out for a picnic, so you make a planning. Okay, we are planning for picnic, the main idea is picnic. Now where to go, that is that becomes a goal that you have to reach there. So you decided a place. Okay, suppose it is by a lake. So you reaching that particular lake is your goal. Now how do you go about it? So there will be few options of achieving that goal. Either you can travel by bus, or you can take your own private vehicle, or you can ask for your university bus to take you there. So you will decide which is the best option. So if you are going along with your classmates, what will you do? You will request the university to grant you for the bus, so that they can take you to the lake for the picnic. All right. So there will be a process of writing an application to the required authority, and then that application will be approved, and then you can decide upon the dates that you can go. So all these things has to be taken in consideration. So the main thing is that determining what you need to do, then you have to build up the commitment that okay, you have finalized the date, so you will be committed to uh, achieve that objective or the goal by that day itself. Okay, so that is the commitment towards achieving the objective. Now, forming action plans, how do you go about it? That is what action plan is. The entire process of, like, we'll take a bus from this place, and we'll travel, we'll take a route, or this route, not the other route. Why? Maybe the other route has more traffic, or this route is a better or a shorter version. So you will decide about the various action plans, how you can go about it. You will require food while you're traveling to your picnic. So all these things, action plan is made meticulously. Then monitoring the progress, the how far you have reached, what is the time going to be taken, have you faced any hurdles or not. So that is monitoring the process. So when you are planning anything, you have to already assess whether if you are doing certain things, it is bound that you're going to face some obstacle. Okay, there is going to be some obstruction while you are going to achieve it. So You have to monitor it at every step, ki where you have reached, what till what steps you have taken your achievements. Okay, so each success will give you your progress of achieving that you have reached your objective that you have set up. Then you have to maintain certain flexibility. Why flexibility is important? Williams have implemented this flexibility aspect here in the for planning effectively, because if you have a very rigid and stringent plan, what happens is life is very uncertain, things can be very uncertain. Maybe market inflation or something else happens, because of your those things, your product is not required, so your entire planning of production in production line will go haywire. If you have a flexible plan, what is that? Okay, the policies has changed, the market scenario has changed, we can do one thing, we can not sell this, but instead of that we can sell the other product which is required at this period of time. Okay, so you can do that. Like, I'll give you an example. Like a drug company, suppose, makes a combination of medicine with some, for example, paracetamol and some other salts. They are producing that medicine. So what happens is, suddenly, due to certain government policies or some other requirements, what happens is there is a ban to a particular salt which is there in that medicine combination. So what happens is, you cannot waste the entire production line, you cannot stop your industry. What you do is, okay, the salt is not required, so you change the composition, right? You deduct the salt that is has to be added in that medicine, and you change the composition, and instead you make another composition of the same drug. Okay, so your production will be continuous if you have that alternative options with you. Okay, now these processes are not meant to be established planning, but it is meant to ensure that the planning is implemented correctly and effectively. Okay, now this is a determining objectives. How do we determine what are the objectives that has to be? So the first step in planning is to determine the objectives to achieve. A good objective should have smart feature. Okay, so why it is written in capital SMART? Each alphabets here denotes to a specific action plan, right? Now, smart features means specific. You have to be very specific about your object or your goal. Then that objective can be, should be measurable. You can measure. You should be able to measure how much you have achieved and what is your success and your progress in it. Okay. Then the goal that, or the objective that you have set, it should be attainable. It should be not unrealistic. It should be a realistic, attainable goal or objective. Then it should be realistic. Okay, you cannot just take it out from any in without a thin from a thin air. You have to be realizing the reality of the situation and making that objective. And then you have to set a time barrier to achieve that goal or the objective. If you do not set a time barrier, what will happen is, things might stretch for a long time, and the quality of your production or a product or your action will reduce, will be of no use actually. Okay, so the basically, how do you determine objective? What are the features of achieving good objectives? That is the smart features, that is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. All right. Now, specific objectives, I have told you that you have to be very specific about it. Okay, the objective must be started specifically. It has to be at the pinpoint. You cannot be vague about your objectives. So, suppose an organization intends to increase its production this year, then it must state clearly how much of an increase it wants to achieve. So, what is the increased production that a organization needs to achieve? Maybe, for example, an increase of 10% or 20% increase of production line. Suppose you are making 100 batches of biscuits, suppose, in a day. You require a 10% increase in the production of that, the 10% biscuits that you are the 100 biscuits that you're producing. So what will be the 10%? Okay, so you add that 10%, and accordingly your material and planning will add up. Then you have to, then it has to be measurable. Okay, then a good objective is in an objective that can be measured in a quantitative manner. The measurement is important to determine whether the objective can be achieved or not. Okay, so on the base there is an example. uh, the increase in production can be measured by calculating the product products produced. Okay, so how much products have been produced so far, and based on that you can assume after calculation that it is seen that there was an additional 10% increase in compared to the previous production. The objective that was planned earlier, that is the increase in the 10% has been achieved. Okay, now we have attainable objectives. A good objective is an objective that is not impossible to achieve, and attainable objectives will motivate the employees, while an unattainable objectives will demotivate or reduce the enthusiasm of working for it. Okay, whenever you have a certain new goal, you will have a new enthusiasm, new energy to achieve that goal. And if suppose that goal is very hard to achieve, so what happens is your colleagues and your employees will lose the interest in working for it. So you have to be having an attainable objectives. Then how we identify the realistic of real, that how the objective is close to the reality. The realistic objective is reasonable, being reasonable. Okay, suppose the production capacity of a company had reached its maximum, and the management decide to set the objective to increase this production from another 30%, and this objective is unrealistic. So because already you have reached your maximum level of production, which is that production line is capable of doing it, a company's production maximum level has been attained, and still the management thinks that it requires 30% increase. That is an unrealistic objective that you are setting up for the employees. Okay, so this unrealistic objective will result in what, will result in what do you call, overburning, or losing out interest. So hence the objective is unrealistic and is cannot be achieved, since the production capacity has already reached its maximum level. Therefore it is important for a manager of an organization to evaluate the capability of an organization before making any plans. So suppose manager does not know the capacity and he has said, "Okay, let's increase it by 30%." Then somebody comes and tell you, "Okay, we have already reached a maximum limit of production." So that becomes an unrealistic objective. So a manager has to be in line, in consent, in sync with understanding what is its capability of making before making plans. Then timely is like, you the good objective is usually outline the time period for the achievement of the goal or the objective. Okay, for example, 1 year, 3 years, 4 years, or quarterly, half yearly, and annually. Okay, so with the time period, all the resources can be combined and focused towards achieving the objectives. Okay, now, building individual commitments. How do you build an individual commitment? Even though objectives have sent it has been set, it does not guarantee that all the individual in the organization will be driven to achieve it. Okay, hence, after determining the objective, the next step that needs to be taken is to install a sense of have uh, a sense of commitment towards achieving the objectives. The organization's individual towards achieving the objective. There are 4 ways that can be used to establish commitments in a member of an organization to achieve the objective. That are, I will show you a table here. There will be okay, that are like, first of all, how do you do is preparing an action plan. First of all, you have to prepare an action plan. Okay, then you have to monitor the progress. So how action plan will be prepared? After identifying the commitment that will be provided by the members of the organization towards achieving the objectives that have been set. The action plan will explain these steps to be taken to implement the task, the individual involved, resources and time needed to achieve the objective. Okay, now monitoring the process. How do you monitor the process? The four steps in planning is to monitor the progress, is basically to aim at to identify whether the plan or the working is going smoothly or not. Okay, there are two ways of determining or methods of monitoring progress. Is that one is short term, or setting up short term objectives, and then setting up of a long term objectives. Now, obtaining performance feedback from a participant or participants is like frequent performance feedback enables the employee and the manager to monitor their progress level. All right. Now, should there be any diversion of objective or original strategy, then adoption of efforts and directions and towards making the work strategy will be immediately done. So there, if in case you feel that there has to be some changes that is required in the strategy and the planning, then it is immediately taken based on the feedback. So feedback also ensures that the manager does not run away from the original, or it is not diverted from the original objective, and the identify the mistakes made, so that they can be corrected in due time. Okay, now what are the types of planning? Now, although planning is defined as the process of determining the objective and identifying the method to achieve the objective, planning can consist several types. It can be of several types. It exists in various forms and sizes, as well as their own meaning has there. The categorization of planners into three main dimensions, which are based on the format of organization, hierarchy, and frequency of use. So this is an image of showing that what are the types of planning. The first type is format type, then hierarchy type, and frequency of use. So in format type, you will have descriptive planning, you will have budget based planning, you will have graphic based planning. Then in hierarchy type of planning, you will have strategic planning, tactical plans, operational plans. All right. Then in frequency of use, you will have one time use planning, or you suppose you are making use and throw products, so you will have a plan for, okay, we are going to just do follow this method only for one time, that is one time usage. Then standing plan is standing operating procedure, means you have a procedure set up for you that has to be reviewed again and again and has to be conducted again and again. This type of standing planning is more of adopted for the trainings. Training programs have this standing operating procedure type of planning, that is the frequency of use of these plans are repetitive. Okay, now planning based on formats. Now planning based on format is of like how we achieve and how it is achievable. It is called a descriptive planning. One example is the planning of an individual career. There is also planning that is stated in the form of financial statement. This type of planning is called budgeting planning. So financial statement is budgeting planning. So you have a financial statement every year, you make financial status, or in your day, monthly life also, you make your budget, right? We have this much money, and we have to run the entire month on this much. So you what do you call, partition the amount okay, we delegate this much amount for doing this activity, that activity, and that activity. So you designate each amount to a particular action. All right. So that is a budget based planning. The graphic planning refers to planning that explains that needs to be achieved and how to achieve it in the form of charts. So flow charts, how you are like flow charts, road maps, they are what? They are graphic based planning. Okay. Now planning based on organizational hierarchy. Apart from formats, planning is also different from the aspect of time frame. Some planning is for long term, while the others are for short term. Planning is done by management based on the hierarchy of the organization. Generally, there are three levels in an organization: top management, middle management, and lower management. In organizations, objectives has to be determined at each level of the organization. Now, the type of planning is known as top to bottom planning or bottom to top planning. What comprises the strategic planning, plans, tacticals, and operational plans are part of hierarchy based planning. Okay, there was a table there above here. Now, the planning based on organizational hierarchy. So, what happens in organizational hierarchy? Top level management. Okay, what they do? They planning, strategic planning. There is an overall planning of the organization that explains the organization general direction and how it will be position itself in the market compared to the competitors. The strategic planning usually encompasses a long period of time and is made for a period of 2 to 5 years in future. The top management will be responsible for establishing this plan. All right. Middle management, that is tactical planning. Middle management handles tactical planning. This plan is compared and implemented by the middle management level. It explains how an organization will distribute and use the resources, funds, as well as the individual in an organization in order to achieve the objective that have been determined. The tactical planning usually involves moderate time period and is made between 6 months to 2 years. Okay. So what does it explain? It explains how an organization will distribute and use the resources. So resources can be employees are also resources, materials, finance, how these are going to be distributed and used. That is a tactical part of tactical planning. Okay. Now lower level management is an operational planning. So what does they do? It is that they have higher level management is already making strategic planning, tactical planning is handled by the middle level management, and at lower level management, operational planning are taken up. This is the daily planning which is prepared and implemented by the lower level management, who are also known as the line managers. Normally, this planning will explain the production and distribution of products for a period of 30 days or 6 months. Okay, so it is a short period of planning. Now, planning based on frequencies. Now, as a part of format, and organizational hierarchy, planning is also different from that of aspect of frequency of use. Some plannings is only used once, where some are used repetitively. Planning that is only used once is known as one time usage planning. It is specifically prepared to fulfill a specific purpose or objective. Like, for example, the opening of a new branch, even though the organization may open more than one branch, each plan will be made only be applicable for that specific branch. Okay, so because like I have in my previous lecture also I have given an example of McDonald's. McDonald's being an American, sorry, it's an UK brand of food. What happens is they make burgers, they make hamburgers, which is non-veg, But when they wanted to open a branch in India, they had to open a vegetarian version also, because they knew this land is, majority of the people on this land are vegetarian. So they had to have a option of opening a vegetarian option in that group. Otherwise they wouldn't have been able to trap the Indian customers. All right, so in opening a branch in India means they had to open a vegetarian branch. I have given you this example, so I'm again repeating it, so it is used here also. But supposingly the same McDonald wants to open another branch in any part of the Europe, where predominantly most of the people are non-vegetarians, so they do not have to consider the vegetarian option. That is an option, but the planning, procedure, place, everything will be different in that place, because the entire country is different, the culture is different, the requirements will be different. So they are one time planning if you are opening a branch, and there will be other branches opening, but the planning will be different. Okay, now this is uh, because each branch will be definitely have a different resources, whether in terms of money, power, customers, and many more. Okay, so I have given you that example. Now coming to planning that is repeatedly used. Just a minute, I'll just delete this one. The planning which is repetitively used is to manage situation that frequently arises in the organization, such as employability, employees being indisciplined, problems like ragging. Ragging was a big issue in the education system. So it is every year whenever there are new admissions in the colleges, it is on the owners of the college, it is practice again and again, that they make it sure the committees are refreshed and the reports are taken and refreshed, that there are no ragging which is going to happen in the institution. All right, so anything which is repetitive, or I say fire drills. Okay, in during a disaster, you require to practice yourself from fighting with fire. So what do? You have to have a periodical fire drills, training your kids, your students, how to deal in case there is a building which gets fire, how you use fire extinguisher, how you use water hose, and what are the precautionary steps that you require to protect yourself from getting burned during fire accidents. Okay, so it only happens if you have proper training, and this training is a repetitive standard operating procedure like process. Okay, now there are three types of standing plannings: policy, procedure, and regulations. Policy is generally guidelines or principles to manage a situations. Okay, procedures refer to the action and the process that must be taken for certain situation which arises. It is more specific compared to the policies. Okay, now regulations. It is specific guidelines when taken an action. Okay, a regulations are normally more specific compared to procedures. Now examples of to make you understand what are the planning. Like here, had given that Shrikant had determined the policy that the employees are reasonable to ensure that every product sold to customer is in a good condition. For any demand product sold, customers can claim compensation from the companies. However, before compensation is paid, there is a several procedure that must be completed with that. Like first to record the damage in the inventory system, and the second to obtain the prior approval of the departments. The manager of the department of the compensation, however, a regulation states that any report on the damage must be made within a period of 30 days of a purchase of a year. Like you order any product from Amazon, so you have a deadline that if within this time you can return your product. Okay, and while you have returning, you have to fill up a form ki, why, what are the reasons that you are returning that product. So you have to mention that He suppose the quality is not good, or the good that you have received was damaged, how it got damaged. So all those things you have to fill it up before getting your sanctions. Okay. Now observe that all the activities involved, which are activities of selling the products to the customer, compensation, claims for the customer, as well as the payment of the compensation by the business, are repetitive activities in the business. Hence policies Hence, policies, procedures, and regulations have been fixed as a guidelines to manage all these activities. Okay. Now, each time any of these activities occur, the same policy, procedure, and regulations will be applied. In short, some plannings can be used repetitively to manage a repetitive problems or actions. Now, advantages and disadvantages of planning. What are the advantages? The first thing is that it generates intensive efforts towards an organization's objective, creates continuous effort among managers in the organization hierarchy, explain the direction of the organization to the managers and employees, assist managers in establishing work strategies, create positive impact on individual and organization. Okay, so this is an advantage of planning. Disadvantage is restricts changes that occur in an organization. Planning does not take into consideration the uncertainties of the future assumption, separates between the planner and the implementer. There is a separation between the planner and the implementer. Now, advantages of planning. What are the advantages? The first thing is that it generates intensive efforts. So, what are the intensive efforts? Employees will be more hardworking if there is a plan, that is, the objectives and the work strategy is explained well. Besides that, the work performance can be further improved as they are aware of the direction that needs to be achieved. Okay. Then you have a continuous effect. What are the continuous effect? Planning involves a specific period. The managers that engage in planning will be able to know that the objective can only be achieved when the time comes. Hence, the intensive effort implemented will be continued until the planned objectives are successful, achieved, and the managers and the employees uh, will work more enthusiastically through the period of achieving the objective. The unity of direction has to be also there. With planning employees, it will now the objective that needs to be achieved include strategy that must be followed. Indirectly, or all members of the organization have a direction that must be followed and will move towards the same direction or goal. All right. Now, establishing work strategy. How does it planning establish a work strategy? As defined, when a senior manager sets an objective to be achieved, automatically the managers at the middle and the lower level will question the way to achieve the targeted objective. In order to achieve it, the managers will establish strategies that will be the guidelines and in determining the activities that needs to be implemented in order to plan objective or achieve your goal. Okay. Now, positive impact. Planning has an proven to be effective to organization as well as individual. Generally, organizations that engage in planning will obtain more profit and expand much faster. Compared to organizations that do not engage in planning, it also applies to individual, whether it is a manager or a employee. Normally, the work performance are much better if they have objective and strategy when doing their work. Okay. Now, disadvantages. What are the disadvantages? It restricts changes and adaptation. So, if you have a planning, what happens is that you are restricted to follow that path or that way. So there is very few chance of change, making any changes or adopting a new concept or a new idea or new technology altogether. Okay. Uncertainty towards assumptions, like they even if you plan well meticulously, there is an uncertainty what is going to happen. Okay, now what happens in the planning is, the planner is very thinking or might take up facts and realities way different from that of a person who is going to implement it. Okay, so that's why, whenever you are planning something, you always refer back to the expert who is working on the, grassroots level, how it will work and how you can go about that production. Okay. Again, this is a planning, this is activity covered, period, approach, formulation, and importance. Okay, we are going to go further in. Activity covered, like corporate planning determine long-term objectives for an organization as a whole. Okay, generate plans to achieve these objectives. Future orientation and integrate integration into the organization is also part of corporate planning. Now, functional planning is undertaken for sub functions within each major functions. Okay, like whatever small functions you have, within that each major functions you will take up sub functions in that. Now, derived from a corporate planning, it is all basically similar to that of corporate planning, that you segmentize and departmentalize the activities. Okay. Now, long-term planning is strategic in nature, involves generally 3 to 5 years. It relates to matters like new products, and diversification. Short-term planning, we know what is short-term planning. It typically covers time frame of a less than 1 year in order to assist their company in, moving gradually towards a longer term. For example, there are skills of employees and their attitude, the condition of the production, the equipments or production quality problems are also, these type of problems are also short term. Now, approach planning design suitable course of action in anticipation of likely change in the relevant environment, to take decisions in advance. Basically, a planning is basically to take a decision in forehand. Reactive planning is reacting on any event that has happened. So reactive planning is the process whereby future action is dedicated as a response to whether has already or is now occurring at present time at the running time. Okay. Now, degree of formulations. What are the degree of formulations? That is formal planning and informal planning. Formalization is like in formal planning, it is structured plan. Like you have minutes of the meeting, you have a proper time given to you, and you have to follow those structured time. Now, it has some process to follow, written records. You there are certain procedures to be followed, and then written records is followed in the formal way of planning. Then for example, like 5 year plan for a country. So we know how every 5 years we have a new planning commission which comes up and plans that for next 5 years we these are the steps that we are going to achieve. Informal planning is, it is an unstructured way of planning. It does not have any procedure to follow. No records is maintained to for the future reference or purposes. Now, why do we need these things? Okay, so what is the importance of content? Why content is important? To make the strategies. For the strategic planning, you require the content. It says the future direction of a organization in which it wants to proceed in the further future. It involves a time zone of more than 1 year, and also most of the organization is ranged between 3 to 5 years. The strategic plans are generally developed by top level management. For example, desertification of business into new line, or plant growing at a at an alarming rate is a what do you go- it can turn out to be bad for the organization's planning procedure. Now, operational plans are developed to determine the step necessary for achieving the uh, tactical goals. There are they are used as a guide for day-to-day operations and department managers. These plans may occur a time frame of a few months or few weeks or even few days. Okay, so they are operational planning. Advantages and disadvantages we have done. So this is a revision. You can check all these revisions. Okay. The planning facility and management by the objectives. So what are the what facilitates planning? We have done that. The objectives that require for the proper implementation of the plannings. The planning minimize uncertainty. How to minimize the uncertainty? That also has to that is planning makes it possible, the uncertainty of the future. Okay. Okay. Planning improves employees' moral. We have done that. It boosts in moral. How? Because setting up a new goal, achievement of a new goal, reality goal, will intrigue a person to work for it. Okay, planning helps in achieving the economic balance, like whenever you have a proper planning, and which includes proper budgetary, and you have everything. So at the end of the day, you will realize you have saved quite a lot of money while making a plan. Okay. Planning also facilitates controlling. Like if you have proper plans implement, you can control how much production has to be done, how much line of workers has to be employed, or how much time is required to finish off your goods and your objective of the project. So that facilitates a control in the end result in the future. Okay. Now planning provides competitive edge over the other. So if you have a proper planning, you will have a competitive ness with a fellow organization. Okay. Now planning involves encourages innovations. So if you have a proper planning, there might be a situation that, okay, we can do this work for the next time in a different manner. This can also be taken up into consideration of the plans. Okay, so it intrigues your mind to innovate a new idea. Okay. So this is all for planning, and next we are going to take is leadership. Okay. So go to your LMS and attempt your quiz. That is here on your LMS. Go and see. Okay. Okay, now have all of you have a good day.